My name is Connor. I live with a disability called cerebral palsy, CP. It affects my motor skills, like moving my hands the way I want them to, and most obviously, my ability to walk. These things I'm telling you, you probably didn't even know about me, which is fine, but I bet you also didn't know that I love to play sport. At times, however, I've been excluded. So I ask you this question. Why do we exclude people with a disability? Just because they're a little bit different than us? Well, I'll tell you why. We exclude people with a disability because it's easier to forget about them and pretend they don't exist, instead of taking the time to make whatever we're doing inclusive for them. Just take the US Open, for example. This year, they announced the wheelchair tennis tournament would not go ahead. If it wasn't for Dylan Alcott, wheelchair tennis world number 1, this would have been swept under the rug. But it wasn't. And he labelled it as disgusting discrimination, and said the only thing they failed to qualify for was being able to walk. This not only offended Dylan Alcott, but thousands of people with a disability, including me. Should people with a disability be treated this way? Many disabled people actually decide not to play sport or be social because of the fear of being discriminated. In many cases, they have already been discriminated before, which affects their confidence to go out in public and do a recreational activity or socialise, in fear of being discriminated. For example, every now and then when I walk down the street in public, sometimes I get looked at funny. They don't actually say anything, they just stare at me and then they look away. They don't mean it, and some of them simply can't help it. But when they stare, it makes me feel lonely, isolated, like I'm the odd one out. Should people with a disability really be treated this way? Another reason people with a disability are left out is because of their financial situation. Most likely, they don't have the money to fund the activities they desire to do. However, if you were to give them 30 minutes of just letting them play a sport or participate in a recreational activity, you would make their day, maybe even their week. If you think it's only a small people in Australia with this problem, think again, because these numbers will truly blow your mind. Over 4 million people in Australia have a disability. 72,000 of those can't afford to do a recreational activity, or even a sport. And unfortunately, most of them may never, ever, ever in their life get to participate in one. Therefore, we need to stop taking all the sports we do for granted and think about the people who may never get to participate in one. Should people with a disability really be treated this way? In conclusion, we need to stop and think about the people that aren't as gifted as we are. Those who have never been given a shot at participating in a sport or recreational activity. And let them have fun. Make what we're doing inclusive for them, instead of making them sit on the sidelines all their life. Because trust me, one act of random kindness like that could change their outlook on life forever. Thank you for your time.